Hi, I'm Addison. I'm one of the founders of Louie's Trust alongside my partner Shannon. Our charity aims to provide support, advice and financial grants to families going through hard times. We cover a wide range of areas across the UK and specifically help a lot of families in the North East where we're located. When becoming a parent, you go through a lot of unexpected and wild circumstances, but you never once expect to go through anything like what we went through. When becoming a parent, the last thing that you ever expect is to be stuck in the hospital. We encountered this multiple times from when Louie was born to later on in his life. We went through many scenarios where we were there for weeks, sometimes days or months, as it were when it came to the end. And the level of support sometimes is very difficult, and trying to find the right support is even harder. For me, the hardest part about our stays in hospital with Louie was not being able to be with him as much. During our time, only one parent could be there at once, and with him over in Newcastle, Shannon couldn't drive, so that entailed me being away majority of the time.
When you're in hospital, life doesn't stop. There's still bills to be paid, and you still need to be able to provide for your family, and that's the role that Addison chose to take for us. When you're in hospital, there's always a consultant that comes around every day to talk about care for the child. So when the consultants come around to speak to Louie and me, we end up FaceTiming Addison just so he could be involved in the conversations and ask questions and just be present in his care, which is something that we didn't think we would ever have to do. We thought that we would be able to be together as a family going through the same thing. The issue that we've come across is that families are generally left with two options. They either stay together and go through financial difficulty, or they are separated and find ways to survive. There's a particular story that comes to mind with a family that we were referred to by a staff member in the hospitals. Little girl, she was born, went home one day, and the next day she came back in the hospital because she was having issues with her digestive system. And she ended up being referred to Great Ormond Street Hospital in London, and only one parent can stay overnight with the child in hospital. So we were able to provide accommodation for both mum and dad to go down to London and stay with their little girl, and they've been in hospital for 3 months now. So you can only imagine what that would have been like if mum or dad wasn't able to be by their child's side and together as a family. If we had the financial support that Louie's Trust provide parents, it would have made a massive difference for us. It would have meant that Addison could have been in hospital with us and going through the experience together in person and providing support not just for me but for Louie as well. When you're making the decision to go to hospital with your child, the last thing on your mind is bringing a phone charger or extra clothes for yourself or spare pair of clothes for your child. You tend to just grab the nappy bag and hope for the best and hope that you've got anything that you would need in it. So a lot of what we do is providing the small things that parents might have at home or they might not have at home that they would need in hospital. Sometimes of having a phone charger, communicate with their parents or friends that are wanting to know how the little one's getting on, having some wipes, just spare clothes for the little one, like the amount of messy accidents that children have anyway. And as a parent, you do generally have a spare pair of clothes in your bag at all times. You might not have that when you've got kind of in a last minute rush to get to hospital. So we provide those things. We provide phone chargers for parents in terms of our parent essential packs. We provide nappies and wipes to the hospital so that they can be fully stocked and be able to provide parents with those. One of the main reasons that we founded Louie's Trust was because when we were in hospital with Louie, there wasn't a lot of support available for families going through the same sort of thing we were. And a lot of the charities that we came across required a diagnosis to be able to help families, and that was something that we didn't have with Louie. So we kind of saw a bit of a gap in the market for parents like ourselves that didn't have a diagnosis and were struggling and needed help. Going from having Louie in hospital to then losing Louie and kind of starting Louie's Trust, it was quite a difficult process because we're still going through grieving, losing Louie, losing who we were as parents, and kind of taking that into something different and putting it into a positive energy because it felt like the right thing to do for us, and we'd learned so much going through the process. It felt like a bit of a waste if we didn't share it with anyone else, and we won't we don't want anybody else to go through it, basically. Our mission at Louie's Trust is quite simple. We're there for everybody, regardless of child's diagnosis, parents' income, background. It doesn't matter for us. We're there for everybody, from single parents to working couples that just need a little bit of extra support. We don't believe that people should be deprived of support when they need it.
Like with any charity, the community plays a huge part in what we do and what we deal with. And without their support, we wouldn't be able to provide and do everything that we do. And anything from donations to people going out and fundraising just helps so much and creates such a great environment for raising awareness about what we do and the people that we're benefiting in the community. Getting involved couldn't be easier. You can head across to our site and see what events are up and coming, where we participate in loads of local events, fundraising, running, hikes and such. Or if you're interested in doing something completely different for us and helping out, you can always get in touch with us and we can plan something together or give you everything that you need to get started.